Okay, so hello and welcome to another mod video thing where I'm going to show you a mod. The one I'm looking at today is Buildcraft, which you probably will have heard of, but I'm going to show you something I made with it and just, generally what it is. So, Buildcraft. What it is essentially a sort of whole load of industrial type items for the game. That's what it does, it adds stuff to the game. And that's what I've got in my bar down here and also in my inventory. So yeah, I'm going to go through a few of these things and show you what they do. The first one is this thing here, which is a mining well, and what this does is dig a big hole for you, basically. So I just plop that down like that, and it'll, well, when I turn it on, it'll start digging. Now, all of these things need to be powered, and that's what these things at the front are, the first three. These are engines. So you've got redstone engine, which just needs redstone power to make it work. Steam engine, which needs like coal, a bit like a furnace. And then a combustion engine, which needs fuel, as in petrol, or gas, if you're one of those Americans, and water, because they need to be cooled, otherwise they overheat and explode. Just like a real engine. So if I just put down my redstone engine, just let's say around this side, and I'll just power it with some redstone and turn it on. You can see that it'll start sort of going backwards and forwards. Actually, I think no, yeah, you need more. You can't. Sorry, I'm being a bit noobish, but okay, good demonstration. The redstone engine, as you can see, this bit here, like this front plate, is meant to slide backwards and forwards. Put some torches, getting a bit dark. Oops, it's not a torch. That is torches. So yeah, this bit at the front, oh there you go, it's meant to do that all the time. And then this thing here, every time it pulses, will sort of dig down if it's got enough power, which apparently it doesn't have. So what I'm going to do is replace the redstone engine with a combustion engine, and then we'll put some coal in it and see if that has enough. Not combustion engine, sorry, this one. As you can see, it's powered and nothing is happening, but also as you can see, it's got like a gap, just like the furnace. So if I just cheat myself some coal, I've got so many mods installed at the moment, I just don't know where anything is. I'm going to be doing videos on all of these, by the way. This one is Buildcraft, the rest are others. Charcoal, that'll do. So I just pop that in there. You should see that starts going much quicker, and this weird pipe appears underneath, and a block of dirt just sort of spawned itself out of the top and flew into the sky. So what you can do is just like have this in your house, mining away, and you can collect all these blocks that appear from nowhere. Also, what you could do with Buildcraft is have it put them into a chest. So if I just turn this off, I'll show you the pipes. So pipes are like another sort of key component of Buildcraft. So for example, if I just pop down a chest like that, what I can do is have all of the items that come out of this thing here be piped into this thing here, the chest. So say if I just go into my inventory, you can see that I've got these pipes here. So what you need is a stone transport pipe, and what that does is transport items. So if I just take this away and place that like that, like that, and like that, you can see that it joins onto the chest and onto the thingy. So now if I turn it on and let some dirt appear, you can see that it's now inside this pipe. That's cobblestone actually. And it's going to eventually, if I just open the chest, it should start appearing up here, top left. Yep, there you go, there's some cobblestone. So this is kind of handy, it's sort of automated the mining process. So if you're a bit bored of mining, you can just build one of these and have it mine for you. Now it's probably worth pointing out that these are quite expensive to make. I'm not going to go over crafting recipes because that's rather boring. But they are fairly, like end game content in a way. You need a few diamonds basically. Not for this, I don't think, but well, you can look it on the wiki. There is a wiki, Buildcraft wiki. Okay, so next thing, the next level up from the mining well is a quarry, which is this thing here. So if I just put this down like that, you can see that this big square appears. And if I just put a few torches so you can see. Like this, torches, loads of torches everywhere. Right, good. So what this will do is basically the same as the mining well here, except it will dig everything out inside this big square I think it's 10 by 10. But also, it needs a lot more power, so if I just use the steam engine, it'll take absolutely forever, which is why I've got the combustion engine, which I'm going to demonstrate now. So these engines are like a level up each time, basically. So the combustion engine is the best. And you can power this with fuel, as in, like, you know, petrol, or also oil, which is, you know, you can dig it out of the ground. But I'm going to be using fuel because I have these fuel buckets, so I'm just going to put a couple of these in, and some water to cool it, because that is necessary. I think the water goes down quicker, so I'm going to put more water in. Not that I'm going to be using all this anyway, but whatever. Let's fill it up, why not? Clicky clicky. So filling it with buckets is not a very easy way, and I'm going to show you another way to do that in a moment. But just for the sake of this, I've done it like that. So let's just turn this on. You can see that is moving much quicker than the steam one and the redstone one. And also, you've probably noticed that this weird sort of square snake thing is stretching its way along this sort of cable. And that is going to be like the frame of the mining sort of thingy, quarry. And all of the blocks pop out the top of this thing here through that little tube. So what I'm going to do is take some pipe and go across here. And then I'm going to join it onto this pipe, like so. And I think this has got stuck actually, because there's no more stuff coming out. So, whoops. So just turn that off. And actually we can disconnect that. But actually, something else I'll show you. There's a way you can control which way items flow. So say if something is mined out the top of here and it flows down here, when it gets to here there'll be a 50-50 chance of it going into the chest or down towards this mining well, which doesn't make any sense. So what you can do is you can use an iron pipe, which is iron transport pipe here. And if you place that there, it's like a one-way pipe. So the way this works is things can flow into this pipe block here from any direction, but they'll only be allowed to flow out through the one that isn't like greyed out, like, so they'll only go forwards. Now we obviously don't want that, we want them to flow into the chest only. So what we can do is turn it round using a wrench, which is this item here. So we can right click and it turns round. So now things will only ever go into this chest. If they come out of the mining well, they won't go towards the quarry. If they come out of the quarry, they won't go towards the mining well. And that's almost built, which is good. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is a diamond pipe, which is this one. And what this is essentially a filter. So if we just put that on there, you can see that it has these two colours. And if I right click on it, you can see we get this weird sort of inventory screen with the various colours. So the way this works is, as it is at the moment with no items in its inventory, it'll just work as a normal pipe. We're almost ready to start mining, so I'll just quickly turn that off while I do this. What we can do, for example, is control the way things are, you know, flowed, basically. So if I just dig a hole there, what we can do is have all dirt go down. And the way we do that is by right-clicking on the diamond and putting a block of dirt in this black row at the top. And what that means is any dirt that comes in from any direction will be sent out of the black side. So each of these sort of rows represents just one, you know, one face of this block. So if I put another pipe there, we'll get, oops, no, that's a slight annoyance. You can't place a pipe on it. You have to like do that. Right, anyway, as you can see, that's the blue side, and the one on top is red, I think. It doesn't really matter, does it? So anyway, now if we turn this back on, we should get the boom going, which is that thing there. So what this will do is go sort of across each of these rows, and it will dig out whatever block it is. As you can see, there are some dirt blocks appearing here in the dark, and these should go straight down and just fall into that hole, because we don't want dirt. We don't want our chest filling with loads of dirt. We just want the valuable stuff, so, you know, ore basically. So think about it, we should also filter out cobblestone. So I'll put a cobblestone block in there. So this is going to take quite a while to sort of dig through, so in the meantime I'm going to show you pumps. So like I said, this needs constant cooling, so this water level will eventually drop. So what we can do is actually set up a pump in the water over here to feed it with water. So that is another block, which I haven't got in my inventory, so I'll just have to cheat again, and that is a pump there. So I'm going to set up the pipe first, because that's just the easiest way to do it. Oh, right, sorry. It's okay. To pump water, you don't use a transport pipe. You need to use a, where is it? Here, a waterproof pipe, which is just the same, but only for water. So if I just set this up, just go across a bit into the water. You're going to want to find a very big expanse of water for a reason that I'll show you in a moment. There you go. If you place the pump, this weird pipe extends down. And I'll just finish off this water pipe. Oops. There we go. So there you go. Look, that's how long it took to do one row. It's not bad at all. With this engine, it actually goes quite quickly because that's like the best engine. It's like the top engine. And also, as you can see, you've got quite a lot of dirt building up in there. I'm not sure if you know, but this will also become apparent later on, but having a lot of entities lags the game out fairly horribly. So what I did before was place lava in there so that it's instantly destroyed. You could also use a cactus, which would be a bit cleaner, but a bit more awkward. Anyway, just like everything else in Buildcraft, this pump needs to be powered. So I'm just going to give myself some wood so we can build a sort of platform to put the various power sources on. So just give myself some wood, and then around that thing we're going to build just a little platform. So I don't want a block there. Actually, I'm just going to go into fly mode because I'm doing this quite creative. I haven't really been playing this massively properly, if you like. I've just been doing it a bit more creative style. Actually, that pipe needs to go on top because I know that these require 4 redstone engines to pump any water at all. Oops, you're seeing some spoilers there. Don't want that, do we? So what we're going to do is put 4 redstone engines, and I'll just neaten this up a little bit. And this is how water works. Redstone engines aren't very good for this. They tend to be a bit slow, and they only pump out like little spurts, I guess. Bit strange. Every like few seconds, every cycle of the thing going backwards and forwards. And you actually need a whole 4 to power a pump. But never mind, because it doesn't really matter because we've got 4. It's okay. We can do this. So these need to be all be powered. So actually, what I'm going to do is just put levers next to them. I was going to do it properly with redstone, like to the switch over there, so that when you turn it on, it turns the pump on. In fact, I will do that. It's a bit nicer, isn't it? Can I do that? Can I be bothered? Can I be bothered? That's a good question. So let's just redstone this across. I think I can be bothered. Oh, you can't put those near pipes, otherwise it bugs out. Okay, there we go. That's redstone, and that pump should be starting up. Looks like it is, so that's good. So we should be able to, let's see, we should be able to put some going up here. We're going to need some repeaters in a minute. That's okay. And we're going to need to do the same around here. I think you can just have it going like that. Oh no, hang on, that's not powered, is it? Why isn't that powered? Do I need a repeater? Oh, redstone. I've been playing with Red Power mod as well, which is another one I'm going to be doing a video about. Oh, solid, let's just put a steam engine here. And that is like redstone, but just infinitely better in pretty much every way possible. Actually no, I'll use a combustion engine to show you another interesting point. So if I put a combustion engine here, obviously it doesn't have any fuel, so it's not going to work. I'll just destroy these redstone ones. Oh, I need a pick. Let's see, diamond pick. Let's just get rid of this. Much quicker than doing it by hand. Just quickly check on the progress of the mine. There you go, getting down to some coal and stuff already. That's good. So let's just put some fuel. Oh damn it! Let's just get rid of all these buckets, and we'll put some fuel in here. So just a few fuel buckets. And if I put that in there, it should start up immediately. As you can see, it's filling itself up with water. And also, as you can see, there is some liquid coming out of here. So an engine attached directly to a pump will cool itself from the water that pump is pumping out. If that makes any sense. Anyway, the point I'm trying to show you here is that this water is flowing along this pipe. And if I look at this engine, and just do it so I can see it as it arrives, you can just see it coming along here. It will start to fill up. So it's in there now, and as you can see, the level is rising. So there you go, we can have a self-cooling pump system. And actually the point I made earlier is that this will actually eventually drain this area of water and you'll have to move off, which is what happened before. So as I've been sort of showing you so far, this is like the absolute basics of everything. I'm probably not doing this very well either, to be honest, but So have we got anything in our chest yet? We've got 47 cobble and 5 dirt. How has that happened? Oh, that was from the mining well, okay. So the way you actually get fuel is by refining it from oil, which you get from an oil spring, which is just something you find, you know, in the world. So I just go over here, trying not to look too much to the right. There is one I've found to show you. There it is. That's an oil spring with a pig in it. So this is oil. You find these naturally in the world. They're meant to be quite rare, but I found 3 around this ocean. And what you do is you build a big refinery sort of oil platform setup, which I'm going to show you my first attempt, which is where this pipe goes. Ooh, big spoiler. So this is my cooling system for my refinery. So if you turn this on, it'll start pumping water. Oh, I think it's run out of fuel. Yeah, it has. So if we turn this on and fuel it, it'll start pumping water, and this pipe goes way, way, way over here to my refinery setup, which is my first attempt at a refinery setup, so it's not very good. This is my first go. So this is basically what this is. So under here, you can see that this oil well here goes right the way down into the ground, and this is like sucking up all the oil. And then over here is where I was getting the water from originally, but this started to run dry, so I panicked, and I also needed some more water. So I kind of panicked and went and got some more. And then I gave up and did a better setup on another oil well that I found, which I'll show you in a minute. It's very cool looking. So this is the red power mod, by the way. I'm not going to talk about that because I'm going to do that another video. So this is fuel. So this is the fuel stuff, and you can just fill this up. If you've got a bucket, you can just right click on the pipe and it fills it up. You can also put it back. And then I had this here set up to pump all of the fuel out into my mining operation, which I had set up over there. But I just thought, this is ridiculous because it's going far too long. Anyway, hang on, let me show you the refinery first. So these engines here, they're the combustion engines, and then this is the pump, which is the same as the one I did for water a minute ago, and this is pumping out this black stuff, which is oil, into these little things here, which are oil refineries, which I thought were a bit bigger than that in real life, but you never know. Oh, and this sort of gold stuff here is power pipe. It's called conductive pipe, and that allows you to sort of power things like these refineries without having to attach an engine directly to them. So there's this engine here, and that's this sort of bank of engines, and that's powering these 4 refineries. And this isn't actually enough power for these 4 refineries. They use a lot of power. And then the refineries pump out fuel, which goes into this big tank here, and it also feeds back into the engines above here. So it's like a self-fueling system. So you can just turn it on and you can just leave it. But what happened is the water stopped working because one of the things ran out, and then it all got very hot and sort of caught fire a bit. So yeah, not good. And the idea that I was planning is to have this fuel pump all the way over here into my bank of quarries. So what I had was like a big quarry setup like this, well, what I have still, and the plan was to have these all mining away in simultaneous stuff. But then I realised that it'd be absolutely impossible to fuel. Ooh, laggy. It'd be impossible to fuel all of these easily anyway, because the refinery was so far away, and I just gave up and thought I'm going to do a better setup. This little bit here is the first quarry I ever built and the first system I ever set up, and what it's doing is actually mining out, well, it's looking for iron specifically, and any iron goes into this furnace, which is then it's automatically smelted. So this filter here sends coal straight up into the bottom of the furnace. This one here sends iron up and round, iron ore, down into the top of the furnace, and then it automatically smelts. And that's what I did here. Look, I had lava set up so that it would drop out any like dirt or cobble. And then the idea was to have this chest here for like receiving smelted iron ore, but for some reason it didn't work. I've got 11 iron ingots, and that's because this pipe here, which is a sort of wooden transport pipe, here needs to be powered. It needs an engine next to it, and that sort of sucks items out, if you like. And this is also what I did first. I set up my mining wells. So let's go back over to my little testing area, and I'll show you how the wooden pipe works. Let me just turn this off, otherwise it'll explode. Okay, turn that on, and that's off. Good. So if we just go head back over here, and don't look that way, you can see that what's happened is my engine's gone green, which means a good operating temperature, and we've dug down quite a lot, and that pile of entities is getting ridiculous, but no matter. In fact, that might be what's causing all this lag. So what I'm going to do is try burning them. So I'm just going to look for a bucket of lava, which is somewhere around here, I'm pretty sure. Have I missed it? There it is. So if I just dump some lava in there and destroy all those entities, sizzle, my frame rate improves. So what's that? Lovely. So there you go, bit of a tip. If you want to, don't let your entities build up to a ridiculous level. So yeah, there we go. That's my mining operation. It's going nicely. We're doing pretty okay for fuel. And this pump here is happily pumping away water, which is, feeding it. In the chest, we've got a bit of coal and a bit of iron ore, so that's nice. So I'm going to demonstrate the wooden transport pipe next by pumping items out of one chest into another. So the way this works is you just set it up like as you did before with the transport pipes, connecting them, but you need to replace this one with a wooden transport pipe, like so. And what this will do is sort of suck items out, basically. So it's a bit like the pump, but for items. And it needs to be powered, so we can just use one of these redstone engines and a lever. So we'll just plop that down there and that, and turn it on, and that'll start pumping away. And you should see some items appearing. There you go, look. There's one thing. And if I look in here, the cobble will just start reducing, 45, and then it's going to place it into this chest. So that's like a nice way just to rearrange items, because carrying things about can be quite tedious. Another one that I'm going to show you is the gold pipe. So if I just turn this off, and I'll break that, and that'll just fall out, but it doesn't matter. So then if I just get a gold transport pipe, like so, what these do is speed up the items. So if I just place a switch there and turn it on, it'll power that, and it also powers that, but whatever. So when these blocks get to this gold pipe, they should sort of whiz off into this chest at very high speed. There they go. Chicken. So that's like just a way to speed up everything, basically. And it's also something you can use to reduce the number of entities loaded, because each of these little blocks is actually an entity in the game, so you need to sort of keep that to a minimum, really. Otherwise it all lags out, which I'll demonstrate briefly in a second. So there you go, that's pretty much it for Buildcraft, and as I slightly showed you earlier with my broken setup, you can combine these into a huge mining operation, which I'm going to show you my version of now. So let's just turn all this off, and we'll just go over here to my much improved oil refinery, and I'll just have a quick sleep in this bed, and then I'll explain what all this stuff is. So jump in the bed. Sleep, sleep, sleep. There we go. So what we have here is a much larger version of my previous oil platform, with a much bigger tank and much more refineries. There are actually 10, I think. Is it 10? Some. There are lots anyway. Lots more refineries, and as you can see, lots more engines, but it's essentially the same setup. So this huge bank of engines is powering just these refineries here, and all the water pumps that are necessary to cool this many engines. And there is a bit of a problem with sucking out this much water, which is that if I just fly over here, you can see that this weird groove has started to appear in the ocean. So what I've actually started to do is actually drain the entire ocean, which is a bit weird, but yeah, it shouldn't be a problem for quite a few more hours, basically. But it also sucked out some water from here. And as I said before, this red stuff is basically like redstone, but it's way better. It's like wire, basically, redstone wire, not dust. Okay, so what's going on here is we've got a load of this conductive pipe stuff powering all of these pumps, which are pumping water directly into these engines, and also the same setup as before, except I've done it slightly differently. Before I had all of the refineries feeding both the tank and the engines, but now what I've done is just set these bottom two refineries to feed directly into the engines, and that's just because I found out that two refineries produces about enough fuel to power all these. Okay, so that's that, and this is just the oil being pumped up here. That's being powered by all these as well. And then this awkward redstone setup here is just to power these redstone engines, which are necessary to pump fuel, which is generated in the refineries, out into these iron pipes, which just force it to only go downwards. Not really sure if that's necessary, but you know. And then it just loops back here and goes into this tank, which if I just turn it on, I'll show you how quickly it moves up, which is a pretty good setup. So I just turn on refinery control, it'll all start kicking off. So what that switch has done is turn on these engines here, which are sucking out the fuel, so that if you just look, you can see it being produced already, because there's a lot of oil in there already. And all these engines have started up, which you can see going on like that. If I just right click on one, you can see that it's all fully fueled, and this pipe's actually blocked, but it doesn't really matter. Oops, lagginess. And these weird lines, by the way, are actually meant to be like electricity flowing through the pipes. So you can see that a lot of it is going to the various refineries. And there you go, that's it, filling up. So if I just get to level, you can see that it sort of increases quite quickly, really, which is fairly impressive, I thought. And then I improved my mining setup, which is this insane thing here. This actually requires a lot of water, more than the refinery, way more than the refinery. So what I've done in here is have the refinery feed directly into the engines. Each of these quarries has a combustion engine attached to it, and I've had the refinery feed directly into those with this pipe set up here. So this pipe goes all the way around, and then I had a few engines here originally, just filled up all this bottom pipe with water, and then turned it on, and it all caught fire immediately. So what I did is add a whole ton more. That still didn't work, so I added a whole ton symmetrical to this, the other side. So there are actually an absolute, loads of engines here. And as you can see, there is quite a lot of holes appearing in the ocean. So I think what it might be a problem eventually is that I'm starting to drain this ocean. So once this setup is exhausted, I can move it over to here, where there's a much deeper ocean, and also a better oil refinery, a better oil well even. So I'll just rebuild the whole setup over there. So yeah, these are the wells, and they're basically just digging down in squares. The reason I did it over water is that once the quarry boom, the arm, hits what does it do? It hits like lava, it'll stop. If you do it over water, the water falls on that lava and turns it into like cobble or obsidian, and then it can dig through them again, so you can get to bedrock. So I'm down to about level 40. Oh, and in here, by the way, oops, lag, in here, that's just some lava down there and filter pipes set up so that like all dirt, cobble, gravel goes straight down. If I just right click, you might be able to see. No, I can't reach. But yeah, and then it just goes into lava. So I'll just turn it on. Well, actually, I'll explain these controls. This one here is for the refinery, which I've already showed you, and that's happily producing away. This one here is the fueling control. So if I turn that on, that'll turn on this engine here, which pumps fuel out of the tank into the pipe that goes around to the engines. And it also turns on these engines here and those pumps to pump water into the bottom, and the same at the other side. And this final switch here, oops, this final switch here just turns on the mining system. So we turn that on, be prepared for my FPS to drop horrifically. All of these arms appear and start mining away, and if I just look at, well, let's say this one here, you can see all of this cobble starts appearing. So that'll just be sent down through down here, and most of it will be dropped into the lava, but whatever isn't gravel, cobble or dirt will appear out of here and be dumped into this double chest here. So one thing you could also do is set up an automatic crafting system, which I haven't shown you yet, and I might not do actually because it's quite annoying. But what you can do is, like, say, you can craft things. So if you could mine, you could, like, for example, you could mine iron ore, smelt it into iron ingots, and then automatically craft those with flint to make flint and steel. I don't know why you'd want that much like industrial production flint and steel, but if you wanted to, you could. So yeah, there you go, that's that. As you can see, everything is starting to appear down this pipe here, and it's coming all the way from right down here. So this is quite a large scale mining operation, really, I thought anyway. I've seen a few completely ridiculous ones, but I don't think my computer could handle it. Oh god, big lag, there we go. What if I change the view distance, oops, that was flying. What if I change the view distance, it'd help any? Because it's not really the rendering, is it, that's causing a problem, it's the sort of processing of all these items moving about. But anyway, so yeah, this is a sort of self-sufficient mining operation until the water runs out. And what's that? There's a bit of copper ore there, which is part of another mod. Gravel, I think that was copper ore actually. So let's see if we've got anything coming out of the front yet. No, you can just hear the sizzling of things dropping into lava. If I go down here, you can actually see them falling in, which looks quite cool. You can see, you can't really see, but all the cobble is coming out of one of these. This gravel should go down as well. So all nice and filtered. and the number of entities is growing significantly now. I think we're at maximum entity production by the looks of it. Maybe not actually. Yeah, there you go, that looks like it is. It goes all weird and sort of fizzy. Probably a bad word. Anyway, yeah, that's that. So there you go. That's Buildcraft. And you can build ridiculous things when you're supposed to be learning about quantum mechanics. I'll get back to that in a moment. So yeah, there you go. That's Buildcraft. It's a lot of fun. Quite awkward to install in some ways because it's incompatible with a few things. The water shader mod that I had to use is not compatible. But actually there might be the flying mod causing that. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling. I've made enough talking for 2 whole videos. So yeah, Buildcraft. And I've also got the other mods installed that I said about. I've got Red Power, which is like the Redstone one. And I've also got Industrial Craft, which I'll talk to you about in a moment. Industrial Craft works quite well with Buildcraft, except it adds more like electric things instead of like this mechanical stuff. So yeah, that's basically it. So that's it. I'll just watch this mine now. There's nothing come out yet. Oh yeah, there's something. Look, there's something that's not being filtered. A piece of flint. If I just look at the chest, I'll show you what I've got out of this so far. All that good stuff. Uranium ore, there you go, that's from Industrial Craft, I think. Right, so I'm going to let this run and see how much stuff I get out of it. And maybe I'll come back later and show you my products. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for watching, and goodbye, I guess. It's pretty big, isn't it? It's a pretty big setup, really. I don't know. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling, so end of video.